Hello.
Hello.
This is 32.
Yeah. Yours just like this is and then the number. Like a robot.
Anyway, I don't know whether you came up with this idea or you stole it from someone else.
No, somebody told us this idea or gave it to us to do.
Right, so you stole someone else's idea.
Well, no, they offered it because I asked what do they want to hear and they said you should do this.
Do you know who it was?
No.
How easy is it to find out who it was?
Very difficult.
Ah, okay.
Because it was probably on like an Instagram story from ages ago or something.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
So what are we doing?
Oh, I thought you were going to say it since you asked me what it was a minute ago. So yeah, someone suggested we do a new series which is called If We Owned. So, I mean, clues in the name really. It's basically we take a different park and then we talk about what we would do with it if we owned it. And that's it.
Yep.
So, kicking it off with...
Well, yeah, this is it. We were trying to figure out a theme park that is a good one to start with or just a good one to do generally. I think Zoe had the idea of just doing Disney parks outside of, say, Disneyland Paris, but I was reluctant to do a park that I don't really know much about.
Or that we haven't been to ourselves.
Well, yeah, this is it. Well, some parks you know what's going on, but I have no idea what's going on with the Disney parks.
It's because you don't care.
I don't care, that's right. For now.
For now.
As soon as we get a trip going, I'll care, and I will actually look into it.
Yeah.
But just because there's no...
You're just ignoring it for now.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, this time we're doing Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Whoop whoop.
I'm sure many of you will want us to cover the hot mess that is Thorpe Park.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we
Who
will
knows?
eventually. And we've covered quite a few aspects of Alton Towers in the past. But we're going to more theme parks this year, so hopefully we can talk about those.
Yeah, rip them to shreds as well.
So Blackpool.
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 I mean, we all know that I hate this park, basically.
What I was going to say is actually, I was quite surprised. We asked everyone what they would change.
Yeah, we got a lot of replies.
And I was skimming through them, and a lot of what people said I would have said as well.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how many people said it was a bad park and said they didn't like it.
It's awful, Harry.
Why?
Many, many reasons.
Such as?
It looks disgusting.
Valid.
It has disgusting rides that are like just painful. Even all of the new ones are painful except Icon.
What do you mean all of the new ones?
All of the new ones.
You know, what do you class
like
as new?
Infusion.
I
Okay, all
wouldn't
the
class that
steel
as new.
ones. Okay, that's what I mean, the steel ones.
Right.
So obviously
Yeah,
the
but
wooden
all of
ones
the
are
roller
going to be
coasters are
bad.
bad.
Yeah, all of them except Icon.
Exactly.
And so how can you say that's a good park?
'Cause
That's a ridiculous statement.
No, it's not a ridiculous statement. I think it's a good park because it's a unique park. The fact that it's bad and all the rides are bad doesn't mean that it's bad. Which
How?
normally, if it was a normal theme park, if it was Thorpe Park,
Yeah.
and Thorpe Park had all of those crap rides,
So you mean
I would say, oh, that's a bad theme park. It's full of crap rides.
So you're giving it bonus points because it's vintage.
Yes.
That's unfair.
Not really.
Everybody else knocked them down because they're rubbish.
No, but
Why do you give Blackpool the rights to keep them?
Some rides, right? Some rides I give points for being vintage. So the two wooden coasters, the two old school big ones,
Well, the
Grand
Grand
National,
National.
and the Big Dipper. They're crap, but that's fine because they're so old and it's good that we have them around.
No, okay. That's fine. If you want to have those, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But the park needs to be big enough or have at least 60% good new rides that everybody loves.
The thing is,
well, you can't just have you can't have 90% bad rides.
nothing's really changed over the past decade and a bit.
What do you mean?
As in the 2010s,
What, Blackpool have not
Blackpool
added
got
anything?
Red Force, Sky Force, the Skyfly Gerstlauer wing thingy. Obviously, they got Icon, Wallace and Gromit, and Nickelodeon Land.
Fine, but
None of them are big additions. You're looking for a massive overhaul.
no. I'm not talking about like what we'd do to Blackpool. I'm saying the point that you just made about it's vintage, so therefore it's a good park. I'm saying that's fine if you want to have vintage rides, but in my eyes, to make it a good park, you still need 60% of the rides in the park to not be vintage rides.
But you could class all of the roller coasters at Blackpool as vintage.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Get rid
fine.
of them all.
No, you can't because But if you go through
Okay,
them,
fine. Don't get. But I'm saying that's why it's a bad park in my opinion.
yeah, but then
Because it's just too much
but then
old stuff.
I go back to my point in saying that there's so many rides at Blackpool that would be difficult to find elsewhere in the world, right? Revolution, not many of those about. Built in what 70 something 70s.
Yeah, but we've had this conversation before. The reason is because they're rubbish.
Well, because times
So
have changed.
get
Yes.
rid of it.
No, but
It's rubbish.
this comes back to what someone else said. Is like someone was like, "Oh, what dying roller coaster model would you bring back?" I'd bring back none of them, right? Because they died for a reason, as you're
Yeah.
trying to say. But I wouldn't get rid of the ones that are still around because I think it's always good to be able to have one or two
Sure.
knocking about.
I'm fine with Blackpool existing. What I'm saying is I'm not going there for any reason. It's not. I don't want to go there because I don't like the rides there.
But the thing is, I think if the park wasn't owned by the Thompson family, right, and it was owned by someone like Merlin,
They would have killed it by now.
it would be very different because Merlin would have already built 3 or 4, well, let's say 3 new big roller coasters there that would all be modern, and then your perception of the park would be like a 50-50 split.
That's what I'm saying. That's absolutely fine.
But because it's family owned and the park hasn't seemingly been doing that well, they haven't had the chance to invest. You've got to think that Icon was the first custom roller coaster since the big one in 94. So it took them, 23 years to build a new custom roller coaster.
That's actually really sad.
Exactly. Which is why Icon was such a huge deal.
But if that's the state it's in, what's going on?
They've been investing in other things.
Yeah, but why?
Because I think it's partially bad choices from the park end,
Okay.
bad ride choices, and then just a bit of it's a family-owned park. It's in Blackpool. No one wants to go to Blackpool.
Yeah.
It's not the best location. It's not that part of the UK isn't doing well. And then on top of things like Valhalla, really good ride, absolute mess to run, really expensive, must drain their resources stupidly. You didn't have Valhalla. Apparently it can, churn through £1 million a year.
What?
If you didn't have Valhalla, you could get a new, medium-sized roller coaster in 8 years. So, and that's not even countering how much Valhalla cost. So you probably could have got 2 roller coasters in the time, or 3 in the time Valhalla has been existing.
The thing is, though, with Blackpool, if it was another park, say, I don't know, what's a park with loads of space around it?
None in the UK. Energylandia.
Imagine Blackpool had the space that Energylandia has around it.
Yeah.
You could easily say, they can keep all of the old stuff, just build couple of new areas with some new stuff in it. But if they want to build something now, surely they have to knock something down.
They will. And they already have.
And that's the problem.
Haven't they? The wild mouse, the wooden wild mouse.
Yeah.
That was one of the only ones left, and that's gone.
So that's the issue that I have, is it's all well and good being oh yeah, I could say to you they can keep all of their old stuff. I couldn't care less if they keep it for nostalgia or whatever they want to do. But then where are they going to put all the new stuff that I want to make it a good park in my eyes?
They'll figure it out. I don't know.
But they're going to have to knock something down.
Don't know. But then I'd say it's not like they haven't been building because of a lack of space.
Where are they putting it though?
Don't know. They managed to fit Icon.
They're just I swear, they just go in and if there's an area of air in the above their head, they're okay, cool, we can get some track through here.
Yeah, they will. Literally, they will.
It's just what?
I don't know. Yeah, I think they'll make space. There's space around, and there's quite a few buildings, lots of arcades in Blackpool that don't really need to be there, and you can knock them all down. Not all of them, but some of them down, and it would be a lot better. But as I said, I don't think they haven't been investing purely because I don't think they can afford. Not that they don't have enough space to.
And surely if they have to knock something down before they build it, or build a roller coaster in a really awkward way, around other stuff,
Yeah.
isn't that going to cost more?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So they can't even just get like a prefab coaster for cheap.
No.
So
yeah,
that's
they have
probably
to build it around what they got.
everything they do is like 10 times the price because of how it is.
Not quite 10, but yeah, it would be more expensive because of the challenging conditions of the park. But again, it depends on what type of ride they get, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it depends on how much longer certain rides at the park last. So,
Big one.
well, all of the steel rides will eventually have to bite the dust. The wooden ones are fine,
Yeah.
but all of the steel ones will eventually die. Avalanche, Revolution, big one, even Steeplechase. They'll all go eventually.
Yeah. It's just when.
It's just when, and if there's going to be a replacement. But then, the only ride that takes up a lot of space
Is the big boy.
exactly, is the big one.
You could put something in where Steeplechase is.
You could, yeah. You could put something in where Avalanche is as well.
Yeah. Revolution just sits on the top of everything.
Not Revolution. You couldn't do anything there.
That's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. So go on. I don't know how much thought you've put into it. What would you change at Blackpool? I think we had a lot of opinions, so I think we'll try and rattle off some of our thoughts and then have a look at what everyone else is saying.
Are we going to take a realistic approach to this?
No.
No. So we're going in Sims with unlimited money.
Let's say,
using the Rosebud.
There's no time limit on how long it takes to get to this stage, but this is what you would like.
So this is like Endgame.
Yeah.
Unlimited money, whatever.
I wouldn't call it unlimited. Try and be like realistic.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah.
But like, yeah, you can.
A solid choice.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to be really biased though, because I have no connections with any of the rides. I couldn't care less. I only been there recently in the last few years for the first time. Pretty much hated all of the rides. Even Icon, I could give it a miss.
Wow.
It's just meh. And we all know how I feel about their food, so I don't know. I don't know. It depends what kind of approach you want to go with. I would say, I hate to say it, but I feel like they should just remove Valhalla.
Do you know it's closed this year?
Yeah, I heard. Does that mean, is that like what other people do where they close it for a year and then they say, oh, it's never coming back?
Well, no, they've already said it's coming back.
Okay.
So I think what they've done is closed it so
to
that
save
they can,
£1 million.
they can spend the money on fixing it.
Right.
The ride's great when it works, but it is a mess. It is a mistake. I think it's a huge mistake to make that ride.
Yeah.
It's a maintenance nightmare.
Yeah.
It's very good, but it's a maintenance nightmare. And it's just a stupid ride to have in the UK.
But if they want to have something like that, couldn't they just do like a modern version that's a bit more easy to deal with and is actually like better? Because some of the stuff's a bit old and weird.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll see where that refurbishment takes us and how much gets changed and how much gets removed.
If they could do a refurbishment that's going to cost them money now but save them in the long run,
I hope that's what they're doing.
That would be great.
If they're not doing that, they are very silly.
Yeah. To just keep it going as it is a really weird
They
move.
need to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
Even if that means removing some of the effects.
Yeah. Because they never run it anyway.
Exactly. If they remove some of the effects, but all the other ones work reliably, fine.
Yeah.
But
also, reduce the amount of water you get on you.
Exactly. So what you'd think about removing?
I'd get rid of it. And what's the one like near it or similar to it with the weird love boat thing?
Oh,
you remember
River
the
Caves. River Caves, yeah.
Ridiculous ride.
It is.
Ugly. Half of it's all melted off. The statues. Literally, I don't know how that is still here. How? It's actually amazing.
As much as people would hate me for saying it, and probably you, I would get rid of River Caves.
Who's out there loving River Caves?
It's just vintage, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
It's crap.
It's not vintage.
It's really
it's
crap.
Disgusting.
Got bin bag tunnel.
How is that vintage? Vintage things are like beautiful and like pieces of art. This is like a piece of plastic that's melted away.
Right, so you
get rid of that.
Getting
mate.
rid of Valhalla.
Yeah, get some kind of log flume or like a little rapid
To replace Valhalla.
Or just
You couldn't get a rapid.
get rid of the caves and the
no,
Valhalla.
but they're not next to each other.
Well, just get rid of it anyway and
Okay.
replace it. The money that you wouldn't save money from the river caves, would you? Anyway, the money you save from Valhalla, build some kind of water thing that isn't that crazy. Because, like, we had to fully get changed when we came off Valhalla. Nobody is doing that. There's hardly ever a queue, I swear.
It depends. If it's sunny, there's a queue, but if it's not...
Yeah, so that's what, 2 days a year?
Yeah,
like, literally.
So...
They need something less wet.
What would you put near River Caves then?
I can't remember where River Caves is.
It's under Wallace and Gromit.
What?
Yeah, it is. I think.
This park's weird. How can it be under Wallace and Gromit?
So River Caves is here. I'm going to show Zoe. And then there's a ramp. You go left at the ramp there, and then left again, and that's where Wallace and Gromit is. And you enter
Lord.
River Caves there.
Okay.
I think, yeah. No, it is, because on River Caves, you used to be able to see the old mine train. And then Wallace and Gromit is where the old mine train was.
Right.
So
I don't know what the layout of this situation is, but you could make some kind of dark ride in there.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like a little track
Literally
with cool stuff.
Exactly what Alton Towers are getting this year.
Get yourself an author of kids' books.
Well, not necessarily that, but yeah, a tracked 360 degree, tilting, pivoting dark ride.
Just keep all the same decorations from the caves, mate.
Don't do that.
Everybody loves it so much. Just put it back in.
But it's quite a big area, so you could make quite a decent dark ride.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that would be cool. But I don't know if you could sell that idea without trying to, as you said, find an IP for it.
Just find an IP.
But yeah, no, River Caves.
Stupid. What's another stupid thing? I'm just trying to eliminate all the things that are just pointless and that don't have as much sentimental value as things like, I don't know, what's like Grand National.
Yeah.
You can't remove Grand National.
No.
Just purely like the memes. What else is there? I really want to get rid of Steeplechase, but I feel like that's a silly thing.
Why?
But no one goes on it, I swear.
What would you replace it with?
Literally anything. You could do like a little kiddie coaster there. A steel one.
That's what I was thinking, actually. Just then.
Because what's the kiddie coasters? They've got that wooden one.
2 wooden ones.
And 2 wooden ones. So where's the steel?
There's no...
Why do they have a thing against steel?
They don't.
They have like 2 steel roller coasters.
No, they don't.
It's ridiculous.
Steeplechase.
I feel
Revolution. Avalanche. Big one. Icon.
I don't know, it just feels like for every one
The
steel,
SLC
there's like
one.
5 wooden.
No, there's 6 steel, maybe more if I'm counting them right. And
Okay,
4 wood.
I forgot about infusion. Infusion.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that. No, nobody wants that, do they?
But it's fine. You're saying get rid of all these rides.
To be
What would
fair,
you
that
replace
is
it with?
fine.
What
No,
would you-
that is fine. I'll allow that.
Okay.
But Steeplechase
What kind of
has no place
What kind
in this
of
world.
family coaster would you get?
I would get.
I agree. Actually, I think a family coaster would really, really be a good place there.
I don't know. I'm talking more like Legoland the Dragon type situation.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe a Gerstlauer family coaster. These are the ones that you can have like backwards and forwards launches, so that you go into a scene.
Like Ben 10.
Kind of. You go into a scene, and then you launch back out.
Okay.
But they're really flexible. They're kind of not on the edge of family thrill, but they're just quality family coasters.
I like that idea.
I don't know what you'd theme it to, or whether you would at all.
This is the thing with Blackpool. Like anything goes.
Yeah.
You could just theme it to like penguins, and no one would care.
But no, I think a family coaster would be solid. I think they need it.
To be fair, that's actually. Should we talk about more rides, or should we talk about theming?
Well, would you want it to be themed?
Well, the other big thing I was going to say, other than like what rides we'd remove, is just sort out the decoration. Like, even if they spent some money, just take everything back to zero, leave Nickelodeon, leave things that have an obvious theme like Wallace and Gromit and blah, 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 but just like make everything look like it goes together, and not that you've just thrown that there and that there and nothing matches each other. If they could just make some signs that all go together, have some continuity throughout the whole thing.
I think the worst culprits for that is the entrance is
The entrance.
god awful. It's really bad.
It actually pains me to look at it.
But it's a listed building. But it's really, really bad. And
So what can't they do to it because
knock
it's
it down.
listed? But can they change the appearance of it,
No.
the outside?
I don't think so.
Why is it listed? Who's listing it?
It was an old ride. I think old attraction, let's say.
No, who's listing that?
What do you mean the government's listing it?
Why?
It's what the government does.
Oh,
The wooden coasters are
have
listed.
they seen it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think everyone is on board with them Blackpool getting a better entrance.
Yeah.
And-
Just leave that there and like build something around it.
One of the things I would say, which is difficult, the whole wristband thing, I get it, but then I don't like it.
What would you rather, just a ticket price?
Yeah.
But
It's
a ticket
the
price,
same with Leesburg, really.
like Leesburg, I was about to say that.
I don't like the wristband. It's too oldie worldy.
So you'd rather just pay one price to get in?
Do anyway.
No, but I mean,
never don't buy a
there's
wristband.
no, but I mean, some people can pay to just go in and not ride anything.
That's the only that's the disadvantage, right? Is people can't just go in.
But surely, in a way, you don't want people to just go in. What benefit are you getting from that? It's just crowds of people not doing anything.
Yeah, I guess the thing of that is what it allows is families to go in if not all of the family wanted to go. So
Yeah,
say I
but-
wanted to go and you didn't, you could come in and not
But
ride
what happens
anything.
at Towers? They all buy a ticket anyway.
Yeah, what if they decide to go? Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think it deters many families.
Maybe
Because
not.
if your kids want to go or you want to take your kids to Towers, you're just going to pay to get yourself in, even if you don't want to ride anything.
Yeah.
It's just a day out, isn't it?
Yeah, but the entrance combined with the ticket office all needs to be redone.
Yeah, horrible.
All of it. It's really bad. I talking about Leesburg, I think a simple Leesburg style entrance
that
would
would
be
so good.
really nice.
You could like try and just make it Blackpool as well, like make
Yeah.
it like a Blackpool Tower situation.
You could. It would be really easy to make something that looks, Blackpoolian,
Yeah, and then that would give them a
focal point.
well.
Just
If you
a
say
nice
to
beginning
me,
to the theme park.
Like
at least.
Leesburg, I immediately think of the entrance.
The entrance, yeah.
Like if there was it's like that artist we saw. They sell like prints in Leesburg, and this artist has done like the entrance in like a cool drawing style, and it's just like that's what defines it now. But Blackpool just, I don't know. I guess they don't really need it because it's on the shorefront, so they just have the silhouette of Big One. But
Yeah, this is it. The big one is advertising. Yeah, but yeah, the entrance is a mess, and then the bit right by River Caves is a mess. Near the fountains, some of that's a mess in terms of aesthetic design.
Yeah.
It's so tacky, but I think that's the problem. Is Blackpool is really tacky and not in a good way.
Yeah. Tacky's fine if you do it in a classy way, but this just looks, and also it just looks like they haven't really taken care of it at all, or updated any of it.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because like we said about Leesburg before, I don't know how old Leesburg is.
Old.
Really old.
Yeah.
So essentially the same kind of thing as Blackpool.
Yeah, except Leesburg has been very good at replacing rides.
Right.
They don't build, they remove and rebuild.
So
everything.
they are the ideal of what Blackpool should have done.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is...
No, except because, again, Leesburg has lost all of their heritage rides.
Yeah, but what are you going to do about it?
Well, it's just
not
a shame.
1910 anymore, is it?
No, but I think it's still a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it's like, you can't just sit there. That's not what a business does.
No, of course.
And that's probably why Blackpool's failing, because they haven't changed since like 2001. They literally have just stayed the same. You can't do that and expect to make money and expect more people to want to go there. That's just not a thing. That's like, I don't know what a good analogy is. It's just, you just got to keep up with the world, isn't it? Yeah, it's heritage and like vintage, whatever. Nice, good for you, but you're just going to get left in the past if you carry on. That's how I feel about it. That's why it frustrates me though, because like obviously Leesburg's basically a perfect example. And what I was going to say before, their like aesthetic is vintage, but modern vintage, and it looks amazing.
It looks really good.
Why can they not do that?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to strip the identity of Blackpool from it. You can keep it, but just update it. So it's like a hybrid of old stuff and new stuff. So everything looks great. They're just not on the ball with it.
No. Yeah, I think the stylization to quote Amanda Thompson, is what Leesburg does perfectly, right? Is everything stylized to the
Every
same
single thing.
kind of vibe, and Blackpool just needs to do that with all of their stuff, update all of the areas that look really drab and tacky to the same, vintage,
Standard.
modern hybrid.
It's just like, strikes me as quite a sad place. It feels very stuck in the past.
Oh yeah, it is. That's why. It just is.
Which I think is okay, it reminds me of, like, imagine there's like a cafe, an independent cafe, which is all like, it's been there since like ages ago, the owner's passed it down for his family, blah blah blah. Everyone loves going there, they have great coffee, but it looks old, and all the tables are really old, and they're not very comfortable and whatever, and they don't accept a card or whatever. And then next door you've got Costa Coffee, who are making millions and millions and millions of pounds because they're a chain, and they just sell what they need to sell to make money, and everything's modern, and they just target things that are going to make them money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of difference that we're looking at. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice and old cafe. You know, you get your homely feel, family run, vintage stuff. But it's just, which one are you going to go to? Costa
It's not
or
the
the
best,
independent?
the best setting for your experience.
Well, even just like the coffee they sell is old. It's not, you know, Costa brings out a new brownie hot chocolate. What's the independent cafe got? It's just got the same coffee. It's just not gonna draw people in if Blackpool aren't gonna do anything about it. Do we even know if Icon like brought new people in?
Don't know. 2018 was a mess, especially with all the rail stuff. You know, the train delays and that to Blackpool. I think visitor numbers at Blackpool as a whole dropped quite a bit.
Because of the trains.
Yeah, so it probably didn't do much. It's hard to know.
I don't want to be this mean about it. I want to like it, but it's just, I'm not feeling it. And I just I don't know.
Let's see what other people have to say then. We've said only quite a selection of things, you know, not actually that many, but I feel like a lot of what we could say is just going to overlap with what other people say. So let's just start rattling these off. Kyle and a few other people actually said, this is on Twitter, sell it to Merlin or Flamingo Land. Hell no. Hell no. Whoever says sell it to Merlin, why? It's good that it's separate from Merlin. Not only because it has an entirely different vibe than the Merlin parks, but then also because then it's competition to the Merlin parks.
And also, they have the this is the good thing about Blackpool. They have the freedom to do whatever they want to do
Exactly.
with it. It doesn't mean they're doing it, but they have the choice. If they went to Merlin, they'd be in the chain, you know, conveyor belt of like, bring out a ride. Wait 3 years, bring out a ride. Sam says, allow sweets in. Thank you.
That would be helpful.
Just do something about the food situation in general. Check up on your staff who serve food. Check it's all going swimmingly. And also, why can't we bring our own food in? Just why? A lot of people would choose to buy food anyway, even if they could bring their own food in. So it's not like they're going to lose that much business.
Yep.
Plus, it's Blackpool, so everyone's just going to buy fish and chips. You know?
They do have fish and chips somewhere.
Yeah.
Quite a few people saying redo the entrance. Owen said that. Shutterbug Kingdom. Quite a few other people. I think Pleasure Beach Experience said that as well. Yeah, the entrance is a total mess, and it's, you know, the entrance to a theme park is the first thing you see, and it sets the tone and expectation.
Yeah.
And when you look at Blackpool, you think,
here we go.
this is bad. You know, it's like, this is a mess.
To be fair, you know, it's preparing you.
The other side is much nicer. I feel like when you get into the plaza, and it's a much nicer view, but this side
the thing is with Blackpool, the vibes are good. Like, it's always very like energetic and busy, and a good like theme park buzz. Joel says, #1 fan, Ice Blast is weak. I'd get rid of that and replace it with a good quality drop tower, maybe even an Intamin sky jump like Icarus.
I definitely agree. That would be very cool.
Don't add an Icarus though, because I don't like
Icarus. It'd be really good. That would really, you know, quench
that'd really
the thirst.
soak up the queues, wouldn't
It
it?
would quench the thirst of thrill seekers.
Yeah.
Is what you're trying to say.
Good views as well.
Exactly. Many people say RMC, the Grand National.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's not how it works. Grand National's footprint is a third the footprint of most RMCs.
Also, it's Grand National, guys. Can't RMC that.
No, exactly. You definitely can't RMC that.
Yaris says, I'd add another compact modern coaster like a Raptor. Is that like a wing coaster?
No.
What's a Raptor?
RMC Raptor Track. It's a single rail coaster where you sit in a single line.
Okay.
It's alright. The throughput's a total mess.
Oh.
Like a really bad mess. So, no.
They also said, I'd change the restraint on Infusion to make the ride more bearable. True.
New trains would be a nice addition, to be fair.
A lot of people saying, burn it down, says Josh. Jamie says, delete it all. Prime real estate for a Sainsbury's. A lot of negative comments there, guys.
That's what I mean. Quite a few people.
I agree, but I don't think we can do that.
There's several tear down the big one. Ewan and
Tear
Frank.
down the big one?
Ewan says, redesign the big one into a Mack hypercoaster like DC Rivals. And Frank says, tear down the big one and replace it with a B&M Hyper similar to Diamondback.
Could you fit that in there?
I am all for just killing the big one. Many people
Killing the big one.
Many people would be very upset to see the big one go, but it would be a joyous day.
Really?
If they got rid of it and they had no replacement that wasn't the same scale,
Well, yeah, what's the
it
point
would
in
be
that?
sad. If they got rid of it and said, we're building this other hypercoaster, I would thank the Lord.
But how much does a hypercoaster cost?
A lot.
And they don't have any budget, right?
No.
So what's the chances of that happening?
Exactly.
0.
Exactly.
So happy days when they say we're getting rid of big one.
Yep. I would like a hypercoaster. I don't really mind who makes it. Just a hypercoaster, please. European Coaster Kingdom says paint.
Paint?
Paint.
Is that what he said?
No, he said paint and also a Mack Big Dipper. No Mack Big Dipper. Mack Big Dipper will ride like Icon, but with less positive forces. You're literally buying a ride that does less. Why? It'd be stupid.
Paint? Does he mean literally paint everything?
Yeah, like
I agree.
spruce it up, make it better.
Paint it all the same colour, not 500 different colours.
Make it all Coaster Bot blue.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
That's it.
If
Just
we
everything.
owned it, branding everywhere.
Every ride will be the big one will be Coaster Bot blue.
Coaster Big One.
The big bot.
The Grand Coaster Bot.
The big bot.
The big
I'd ride that. That'd be good.
Steeple Bot. In Bot. Infuse Bot. We got this.
Caleb says, thinking the new gen Vekoma rides are cheap and high quality. He'd like to see one of those, potentially a new family area to replace Nick Land with a Lost Kingdom style rides and theme, potentially. So there you go. There's your thoughts. Here's a question for you, so. How much do you think of what we said Blackpool will do in the future? What do you think they will actually do moving forwards?
What, that's in agreement with what we've said?
Or
in general?
Just generally.
More of nothing for a while. I mean, only 2 years ago they basically spent all their budget.
Yeah.
We know they're obviously not raking it in because they've shut Valhalla.
Yeah, to fix it, yeah.
So, I don't think there's a lot they can do. What can you do with no money? Just pray. I don't know. I really don't know what they would do. There's no clear... Because they have so much stuff, they have so much to choose from of what they could actually get rid of or add. You get me? It's not like Thorpe Park when there's only like 6 things that you could possibly do. What do you think?
I do think they'll start to modernise more bits.
In what way?
Just getting rid of old facades and putting new ones on. They've already started to do that with one of them. I do hope they continue to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Because, as you said, it will make it a lot better. After... Everyone thinks that Skyforce is going to disappear.
Really?
There's been lots of rumours about it going.
Why?
I don't know. Potentially, one is maybe the Red Arrows brand will be disappearing from it. But then why would you just kind of like just get rid of the branding and keep it?
Yeah.
It's really hard to say. As you said, I don't think they'll get anything big. they're fixing Valhalla, so that would be the 2021 thing, right? But in the meantime,
It's a bit sad, really, isn't it? When you know there's no budget.
it's really hard. It is really hard because the big one's got to go at some point.
It's quite a complicated park when you
It
think
really
about
is.
it.
I'd hate to be them trying to come up with a
Yeah.
long-term development plan for that park because so many of the rides are gonna
Just break randomly
at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, they're all
Oh
old.
God! So surely they have to remove one now while they can, so that later they can do another one.
This is it. They're all really reaching the end of their service life, and the big one has got to be. I mean, they're already replacing some of the track for it, right?
Yeah.
Which makes you think that it might last a bit longer.
How old's Revolution?
I feel
Quite
like
old.
I feel like it was 79, but I'm not sure. 79.
Wow. But the thing is,
So-
if they just remove that, they're not going to replace that. That would just be a clean wipe, won't it?
41.
Wow. That is old.
Yeah, but because of the type of ride it is, it doesn't exactly, deal with much stress,
No.
so it's fine. But
That is old,
it
man.
really is. It really is.
God, we're all getting old.
What are the other ones? So Avalanche was 88, so
Whoa.
that's 32.
These are pensioner rides. What's going on?
Infusion was 2007. When did it actually open though? It originally opened.
Infusion?
Infusion originally opened
2002.
in 1999.
Oh my gosh.
What else we got? Steeplechase, 1977. It's 43.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. You don't think of it being that old?
No. Then Nickelodeon Streak, the orange one, is 1933.
Jesus.
Grand National, 1935. Blue Flyer, 1934. Big One, obviously, 94. Big Dipper, 1923. And then Avalanche, 88. But they've had loads of other rides in between.
Where did they go?
You know the big building that looks like a moon?
Yeah.
That used to have a ride in it
Oh.
called Space Invader. I've ridden it. It's now at Breen.
Oh yeah.
It's quite good, actually. I liked it. I was the only one on the train.
Cool.
But I liked it. So that was 84. Went in 2008. And then Wild Mouse, the wooden Wild Mouse, 1958. And that disappeared in 2017. You would have hated it. It literally felt like you were going to die.
Yeah.
But it was so good. I loved it. Yeah.
I don't know. Clearly, they have to change or they're just going to die.
This is it. Look, if you think about it, Steeplechase Revolution are very close together in terms of age. And then Avalanche, a big one, again, are quite close together
And
in
there's
terms
only
of age.
8 years between those two groups.
Yeah.
So they have to do at least one kind of within the next 3 years.
Steeplechase makes the most sense.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a crap
It's
ride.
easy to remove as well.
It's sad. It would be sad to see it go, but
No,
it's a
it
crap
won't.
ride. It takes up quite a lot of space.
It's useless.
The
in
throughput's
every way.
terrible. You could put something much more modern and better there.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
a
think
lot of room.
more people would enjoy it. Yeah. But again, it depends on how much they want to hold on to this heritage, right? It depends.
They have to let go at some point, or literally they just have to shut down and be like, okay, it's just a museum now. That's what it'll end up being. They'll just end up shutting it down. Everything will stand there, and nothing will ever run.
Steeplechase does actually take up quite a lot of space.
It does. It's a ridiculous ride.
There's Steeplechase. There's Icon.
That's like the size of Icon.
You use Steeplechase's station, and you could get
You could get a huge ride in there.
It's slightly bigger than the main portion of Icon. The amount of space you have to play with. So
you could get a big ride in there.
you could actually get a decent ride.
Maybe
in there.
they're saving that then. They're just going to keep Steeplechase there until they've saved up again to get a new big ride.
Don't know.
That might be what they're doing.
Infusion's big as well, as we know. Avalanche is quite big,
Avalanche is big, yeah. Whew.
relatively. The wooden coasters aren't actually that big. They're just tucked away.
Yeah. You could get rid of Avalanche and Steeplechase and it wouldn't be that much of a loss to the park. It would still have 90% of its heritage, wouldn't it really? And then you could have 3 solid rides, big steel rides. And that would make it good. If there were 3 good rides, like Icon level rides, I wouldn't mind going. But at the minute, if I go to Blackpool, it's what am I going to go on? Icon. And that's all we do all
Icon
day.
the ride. There you go then. That's how we would fix Blackpool.
Yep.
Let us know what part you think we should fix next.
Sprinkle some more magic dust.
I think, Blackpool's a really hard one to not only fix, but try and come up with the way that they would fix it. Quite a few parks you could say, maybe Alton Towers will explore this avenue in the future. It's likely that they will explore this avenue.
It's because Merlin is the same, not the same in every park, but Merlin has a certain way of doing things that we all know about because there's so many parks that we've learnt from what they do. But Blackpool is its own thing.
With its own very specific problems.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The problems are not what most parks would face.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Let us know. Comment, tweet us.
Yeah.
At CBR Podcast or at Coasterbot. Let us know what you think the big one, the Pleasure Beach, will do in the future. What do you think? What do you reckon they'll do? Not what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
It's strange. It's going to be an interesting decade for sure
to
watch the development of theme parks. It's going to be an interesting decade in the UK if London Resort gets built.
Yeah.
If London Resort gets built,
all hell breaks
loose. It
loose.
literally will. Whether that's in a good way or a bad way. I mean,
just mad
London
panic.
Resort could cause Merlin to toss
Flop.
Thorpe Park in the water and be like, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
But it could cause Merlin to spend.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Either way, I couldn't care less because Thorpe is rubbish.
There we go.
So we'll see what happens.
There we go.